One story begins at a huge refugee camp in a difficult nation in Africa. 75,000 people have fled brutal air and ground attacks on their homes and villages. The vast majority come from non-Christian backgrounds. They tell of losing their homes, livelihoods, loved ones, and limbs. They have been a people without hope, brutalized, oppressed by a great darkness.
شعلوني في عربي مشيت سايد ولا ما أنا ما معي زول اللي معي موقتي بس مرة كده مشيت ركب لي هنا 2 كيس بتاع دم.
At this large camp administered by a well-known humanitarian agency, the people have been receiving food, safe water, shelter, and medical assistance. Over many months, their trust has been won by physical aid as the people have experienced the love of Christians. Now in ever-increasing numbers, hearts are also being won through the film Jesus. It all started when a ministry leader in the U.S. gave a single DVD of Jesus to a leader in this camp.
Now, I have seen literally thousands of people who have come to this refugee camp from a very, very difficult, war-torn background, which has caused them to flee here in the first place. Many of them are from backgrounds who have never heard the gospel of the Lord Jesus Christ. Usually we have 1,500 to 2,000 people each night enjoying and being blessed by this film. The most important and the greatest story ever told, and the joy in their eyes and their faces and their whole countenance, it just changes throughout the movie as they applaud watching Jesus do miracles. And they're very, very excited, emotional, and passionate. And watch people at the end of the film, at the invitation, raise their hand and receive salvation through Jesus Christ.
We heard of this marvelous transformation at the refugee camp, so we sent a videographer to record these historic showings, to document for you this unprecedented turning to Christ. He reported large crowds, unreached people caught up with the story of Jesus, His words, miracles, and love. They were moved by His suffering and death for their sins. They rejoiced at His resurrection and the offer of salvation. For at last they found hope. They found truth and joy. In fact, an estimated 80% of the audiences have been freely becoming followers of Jesus, like this young man.
Jesus is now in my heart.
Jacob was so excited over his newfound faith that he asked pastors in the camp to come the next day to his home to share the gospel with his entire family. He is among a growing number of young believers committed to winning others to Christ.
I want God to be in my heart and to be all with my family and all my community. Yeah.
As showing equipment becomes available, as these new believers are trained and become leaders themselves, they will be showing Jesus and planting churches in this huge camp and surrounding areas. The pastors here also have a dream. They see the great possibilities of using the backpack equipment sets to saturate every village in the surrounding mountains with Jesus, taking the gospel into the people's home areas to nearly 1 million people.